Hi, my name is Joy, and I'll be explaining the levels of Bloom's taxonomy today. Come meet my students. This is Snappy. He's a yellow-bellied slider turtle, not a snapping turtle. But he will still bite you if you put your fingers in his face. He loves to learn about science. This student is Spice. She's very soft and loves to cuddle, but you have to let her come to you. She will also bite you if you aren't nice to her. She enjoys reading and language arts. This is Captain. They are a comet goldfish. Captain is very energetic. They love history class and also gym class. This is Albert. He's a pleco suckerfish, also known as a catfish. Albert is nocturnal, so instead of coming to class with everyone else, he goes to night school. Just like me, his favorite subject is math. Do you remember how many students I have? The answer is 4 students. That's an example of our first Bloom's taxonomy question type, a knowledge question. It's something that you can learn by listening directly to facts. Here's another question. What's the main idea of this whole video? Hint, it isn't just for me to tell you about my students. The main idea is actually that I'm explaining the different kinds of question categories for Bloom's taxonomy. This is a comprehension question. A comprehension question tests your ability to describe what you've learned in your own words. The fourth kind of question is analysis. Analysis is about figuring out the reason behind something or finding evidence to prove something. For example, which 2 of my students are the most likely to be friends, and why? The third level is application. This is where you would use what you know in a new but similar situation. Let's say you met some more students from another class. Which of these students would you think likes to cuddle the most? Probably Charlie, right? A fifth question type is synthesis. This type of question is about things like solving problems or making predictions, and the person answering needs to come up with their own ideas rather than choosing from a set of options. For example, what do you think I should do if I run out of food to feed Albert? The sixth and final type of question is evaluation. This kind of question could be comparing possible solutions to a problem, or forming and justifying your opinion on something. For example, if you're going to be friends with just one of my students, which one would you choose? And why? Who would least likely be your friend? An important thing to notice about these 6 question categories is that the farther we get, the more freedom you have with your answers. For the first 2 or 3 questions, there are some pretty clear right or wrong answers. But for our analysis question, which 2 of my students are most likely to be friends, you could answer correctly with any combination of 2 students as long as you had a good reason for it. Many people would say Captain and Albert are friends because they live in the same tank. But you might say Snappy and Spice are friends because they both agree that if someone is bothering you, you should bite them. You could also say Albert would be friends with Spice because they both sleep a lot during the day. Another thing to notice is that each type of question also tends to require the skills from the previous types of questions in order to answer it. For example, how are you going to analyze which 2 students will be friends without factual information you learned from directly listening? Being able to categorize questions this way makes it easier to answer them. It lets you know what kinds of skills you'll need to give your best answer. That's my favorite thing about Bloom's taxonomy.